Well, hello there. It's the legendary Josh Wolf as seen on the internet, which is where you're seeing me now. My backdrop here today, I'm at Fishburners in Brisbane, Australia. Time to do some coding. This time with magik.memento. Memento is a word in Latin that means memory. So it's a spell or a law or a magic word for remembering things and recalling them, so storing them in your memory and then getting them back out again. Okay, I've got a little bit of an older version of the documentation here in my spellbook, but that's cool because I also have access to the latest version here, which is on GitHub. Okay, great. So let's make a new spell here. Let's have a look at it first. Memento, right? You use it to access your memory to store or recall something. Now, as you're flying up through these little islands, you can use this memory to be able to remember where you got up to, and you'll find another spell later on that will be very, very useful. But let's just go with this for the time being. So, to remember something, use memento.setItem. Okay, and here's an example here of a spell. So we're going to use this spell. I'm just going to copy it and paste it into the spellbook. Copy, paste. Okay, the spell is called Remember. Now remember, every spell, first of all, we get our magic from Magikcraft.io, right, at the top here. Then our spell starts with this special word function. And this one is called Remember. So Remember is both here and it's down here. Then we have the yellow braces, the curved ones, and then we have the green curly braces. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe that makes it easier to see. So we've got our yellow braces, the curved ones, and we've got the green curly braces. Now, here we're going to go const. I'm going to type it out because I know this one off by heart. Okay, so it's a constant. It means we're not going to change it here. So this is the place where we are now. And then we use the special function called magik.hic, which means here in Latin, right here. So what that does is it gets our current location in the game and puts it into this variable or this value here. And then what we do is we go magik.memento set item. And when you type this one out, you got to be careful that you get the capitalization exactly like that, right? Set item with a capital I. And then we're going to put here into the memory. So we're going to set item here. So if I save that spell, go to Minecraft and type /cast remember. Okay, so we go back to Minecraft and then I type /cast. If you get this problem where it, your keyboard stops working properly, I double tap the command key on my Apple keyboard and that fixes it. Cast remember, like this. Okay, I remembered this place as memory.default. Okay, cool. Let's make another spell to get the memory back out. So if we have a look in here, there's set item and then there's another one here called get item. So memento.getItem. And memento.getItem lets you get your memory back out of your memory again. So here we go. Let's make a recall spell. Total recall. So I can change the name here. Recall. Function recall. Now I'm going to go const there equals magik.memento get item. So get the memory out. Then I'm going to go magik.dixit there. Let's see what this does. Save. So magik.dixit, dixit means to say, and in English we get the word dictionary from that. So if I go here, cast recall, I get undefined. Okay, so let's try this. If I say there to string and put those yellow brackets, save, and then go back here, let's try it again. Cast recall. Okay, good, I got a location. So that's my location that I remembered, right? So I can, let's have a look at that. It says location, world equals craft world, name equals tutorial, and then here's my X coordinate, my Y coordinate, my Z coordinate, my pitch, and my yaw. So that's which way I'm looking up or down and which way I'm turned around and where I am. So let's just have a look at those numbers again. X is 10.3 minus 10.3. Well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to drop off here. See if I can do it without falling into the ground, the water. Good. Okay. Now if I now go cast remember and then cast recall, I'll get another location. So I can see both of them now. So you can see here, before when I was up on the island, my X was negative 10.3. Now that I'm down on the ground, my X is negative 1.9. So I'm in a different place than I was before. Okay, so that's pretty cool. But wouldn't it be good if I could remember more than one place, right? I'm going to fly back up to there. So cast fly. And I'm going to show you how to change that spell so that you can remember more than one place, which is useful because you can remember a couple of different places and you'll find a spell later that will let you get back to them, to those places. So I'm going to change my remember spell first of all. And it's not a big change. It's just a little change where I'm going to add the ability to give it a name. So in here, in these yellow brackets of the remember spell, function remember, inside the yellow brackets, I'm going to put name. Okay? So that means that I can pass a name into the remember spell. Now, when I go magik.memento.setItem, I'm going to change this to be name, comma, here. Now, if you see what it says here, it says set item takes a key and a value. So the key is the name, and then the value is the location. So that means that I can use the spell with different names to remember different places. Now I'm gonna let's run that one to start with, right? Now if I go here and I go cast, there's that problem with my keyboard. See, this is what it looks like. So I double tap the command key. Okay, cast, remember. Okay, I remember this place is undefined. Okay, so now I need to give it a name. Oh, let's see what happens if I do cast recall now. Okay, so I'm going to go cast remember, and I'm going to say remember platform. I remembered this place as platform. Okay. Now my recall spell can't get it out by name. The other thing is that you notice if I go cast remember and I don't give it a name, it remembers it as undefined, which is kind of dumb. So what we can do is we can give it a default value so that if I don't pass anything in, it'll automatically use it. This is called an ES6 parameter initializer, I think, or a default parameter, whatever. So name equals, and then I do these quotes. What will my default name be? I could just say default. That's pretty easy, right? Maybe default.place, like that. So if I save that spell, go to Minecraft and type cast remember. If I go here and I go double tap command, cast remember, I remembered this place as default.place. And then if I go cast remember as platform, I remembered it as platform. Okay, cool. So now what we want to do is we want to change up the recall spell so that we can get them out by name. So in here, put a name, and we'll make the default again default.place. So if we don't pass anything in, it'll use default.place. Now magik.memento.getItem, if I go and have a look here, example, get item also takes a key so you can recall more than one memory. And then you see I take a name, and then I get item, and I use the name as the key. So put name in there. Get item by name. Yep, save that spell. Okay, let's go back to the game. So if I now go cast recall, okay, cool. I think the other thing we need to do actually to make it a little bit more interesting is we should do this so we can see what's happening. Magik.dixit, and then I'll say recalling plus name, like that. Okay, save that spell. Now watch what happens now. cast recall, recalling default.place. Okay, it gives me one location. Now if I go double tap command, cast recall, and then if I say platform, which is the other one that I remembered, should recall another location with the name platform. Let's see what happens if I go cast recall whatever. Nope. No. Cannot read property to string from undefined. So there was no memory there, so it came back as undefined. So here we could say this. We could say if, and then I open my curved braces, if there, and then I open the green braces, and then else, I'm going to double tap my command key here, else, green braces again, magic.dixit, no memory to recall. Save the spell. Okay, so let's go back here. What happens if I now go cast recall whatever? No memory to recall. Cast recall platform, and then I do have a platform. Cast recall I could get a little bit more tricky to find out what things there are that I could remember, but we'll do that a bit later because we're going to have to dive into how Memento actually works to do that. But we will make that another lesson for you so you can inspect your memory a little deeper. Now, if we go to GitHub, on GitHub in the Magikcraft organization, you can see the code that's behind all of these things that we're learning here. So if I go into source, and then I go into lore, and then I go down to memento.ts, here I can see how Memento actually works internally. So there's a lot of code there. You can go and have a look at it to go further and learning for yourself. But let's have a look at this last spell that we just wrote, this recall spell. Okay, I'm going to break it down a little bit here. So we get our magic from Magikcraft.io. Function, we've got a name recall, and we can pass in a name. And if we don't pass anything in, it'll use default.place. And then we create a new constant called there, and we get the item out of the memory with that name that we passed in and put it into there. And then what we do is we say, hey, I'm recalling whatever the name of the memory is. You know what? Let's put that in front of this other one because that's kind of how it works, right? First we say, I'm recalling this thing, and then we recall it, right? Then we check if there actually was a memory. So that's what this does. If there is undefined, then it'll skip this part because it'll say, well, no, not there. And then it will run this, else. No memory to recall. And if there is a there, then it will print it out by converting the location to a string. So the Minecraft location is a complex object with, as you saw, an X coordinate, a Y, a Z, a pitch, a yaw, a world, all of those kind of things. And this will convert it into a string so that we can display it on your screen. So there you go, you've got the recall and the remember spells, and you're using Memento get item and set item. Now I'm going to show you one more thing. We modeled the memory in Magikcraft after a part of the browser that's called local storage. Okay, now in my Google Chrome, if I go view, developer tools, it's going to pop up a little console where I can do kind of programming. So if I go to console here, and can I make this bigger? I can, great. Okay, cool. If I go local storage, and I hit enter. So local storage is like Memento, but in your web browser. If I go local storage dot set item, and I'm going to set an item, I'm going to call it test, and then I'm going to say, put my name in there, Josh Wolf. This one. There you go. Like that. And then I hit enter. It says undefined. Now what happens if I go local storage dot get item, and then I get my test item out, Josh Wolf. Look at that, like magic. So this is how we actually write the spell book. We use local storage and we use get item and set item for that. So the same way that you've learned how to store and recall memories in Magikcraft, you can also store and recall things in the web browser. So this is a very, very useful pattern for you both in Magikcraft, as you will discover once you learn how to use those locations to teleport back to them. And also, when you get into programming in the web browser, you can use exactly the same approach. Okay, enjoy, have fun, keep coding, and I'll see you in the next video.